You may find some common themes in the words I say. I haven't had a lot of chance to talk with the lieutenant. Today I'm speaking on behalf of the coworkers, members of the Tactical Unit, and Academy classmates of Officer Pierson. I would like to start off by saying thank you to everyone for the tremendous show of support for Daryl, his family, and his coworkers. My name is Stephen Kennedy. On August 21st, 2006, Daryl and I began our careers together as members of Recruit Class 46. Shortly after completing field training, Daryl and I were both assigned to the East Division 3rd Platoon, where we worked together on almost a daily basis. For nearly the past 5 years, we worked together as officers in the Tactical Unit. In the TAC Unit, Daryl worked with an independent group of motivated officers who were specifically tasked with helping to combat and address violent crime in a variety of ways. Starting in October of 2013, I was granted the opportunity to be an acting sergeant in the Tactical Unit, and I was Daryl's direct supervisor. On the evening of September 3rd, I was at Rochester General Hospital and stood by Daryl's side during his final moments with us. Over the past week, Daryl's wife, Amy, has done a wonderful job illustrating Daryl's love of family. I can remember we were both right out of the academy, and my son was born. Daryl took a genuine interest in my family and the joy that I was experiencing. His strong desire to someday be a loving father was clear to me even then. Daryl's love of police work was obvious to everyone that knew him. His professionalism, integrity, and commitment to the RPD were unparalleled. Daryl had a great reputation amongst his peers and his coworkers. He was widely regarded as a hard worker, a diligent protector, yet he also knew when it was time to laugh and enjoy life. Daryl was a quiet professional, never boastful of his abilities, did his job to the fullest. Daryl would never complain about any assignment that he was given and rarely asked for a favor. Daryl was skilled in the day-to-day Tactical Unit functions, and he had a particular and unique ability to memorize almost every stolen vehicle that was outstanding in the city of Rochester. If you ever had the opportunity to work alongside Daryl, or more accurately, if you ever had the opportunity to drive Daryl around, you couldn't help but notice that he relentlessly ran license plates in his head and out loud while you were next to him. He functioned as a human computer and recognized stolen vehicles as they passed. His skills were impressive and they didn't go unnoticed by his supervisors. They allowed Daryl to seek outside training of the RPD. He obtained certifications from the International Association of Auto Theft Investigators. Daryl was also certified by the NYPD Auto Crimes Unit as an auto theft investigator. He was called upon to assist and work countless auto crime investigations within our specialized unit of the RPD. Outside of his skills and accomplishments, Daryl had a unique professionalism about himself. He was respectful to his friends, peers, and strangers. Whether he was talking with a regular citizen, a criminal, a friend, or the chief of police, you were always guaranteed to get Daryl's standard and strong, yes sir, no sir, reply. As Lieutenant Paul talked about already, Daryl was easy to work with and supervise, unless of course we considered his other unique ability, and that was his ability to find himself in the more than a few minor fender benders. Daryl's bosses were well versed in the fleet vehicle MVA package, and Daryl was no stranger to a counseling memo regarding his driving. Daryl has obviously constantly been on my mind this past week. While I was looking through my email Monday, I came across a posting for the Driver Improvement Program. Daryl moved to the forefront of my mind, and I couldn't help but laugh. He genuinely loved working for the RPD. He viewed it as a great department, filled with great people. I don't think he could imagine himself working anywhere else. Through the years, our department has experienced its fair share of tragedy and hardship. though I believe there are two major reasons why we haven't gathered together for a tragedy of this magnitude in almost 50 years. First, we take our training very seriously, and secondly, we look out for each other like no other department. Darrell was the epitome of these two things. If you found yourself in the middle of a serious situation, Darrell was the exact sort of teammate and officer you wanted by your side. To Darrell's family, we are grateful for sharing your son. To Amy, we are grateful for sharing your husband. To Darrell's children, we are grateful for your father. Most of all to God, we are grateful that you gave us Darrell. To the police officers, investigators, medical staff that worked so hard for Darrell that night, words cannot express how grateful I am to all of you. You should take solace knowing that you did everything correctly that night. And let me be clear, there is only one person who could have prevented this tragedy. There's also only one person who is responsible for it. Soon enough, that person will be held accountable in a court of law and ultimately before God. On the morning after we lost Darrell, I found comfort in some words that were shared by an officer whom I have known since he was 8 years old, playing CYO basketball with my brother Ryan. This officer is no stranger to tragedy and the dangers we all face. Officer Tony DePonzio, my friend, shared the following prayer. St. Michael, heaven's glorious commissioner of police, who once so neatly and successfully cleared God's premise of all its undesirables. Look with a kind and professional eye on your earthly force. Give us cool heads, stout hearts, and a flair for investigation and wise judgment. Make us the terror of burglars, the friend of children and law-abiding citizens, kind to strangers, strict with lawbreakers, and impervious to temptations. You know, St. Michael, from your own experience with the devil, that a police officer's lot on earth is not always a happy one. But your sense of duty so pleased God, your hard knocks so surprised the devil, and your angelic control give us inspiration. When we lay down our nightsticks, enroll us in your heavenly force, where we will be proud to guard the throne of God, as we have been to guard all of the city's people. Thank you, Tony. There's been a common theme heard over the past few days: never forget. Those words are important and resounding. This incident is fresh in our mind, and it's easy to remember right now. It is my hope that people will truly never forget Darrell's sacrifice, and that long after I retire, people still talk about and remember the hero, Officer Pierson. When Darrell and I were in the academy, our class motto was, Class 46 never quits. Darrell, I promise you today that we and the members of the Rochester Police Department, like you, will never quit. Thank you.